Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
Here as most of the countries have come in, and now at the rear end, that's India coming in just behind them. There you can see the athletes with disabilities, the elite athletes who have so valiantly taken part in these games, and that's part of the entire, the concept of camaraderie, to bring them players together despite whatever maybe your calling as Indians. Sports persons come into the field, they'll get a great welcome here, and as I was mentioning, the athletes with disabilities doing so well. They had a good response, they've been welcomed, and definitely the Commonwealth, which has brought about the concept of equality for all, goes a long way in developing sports for every single human being. There you can see the Indians. India is really fantastic. Just remember, number 2 in this 19th Commonwealth Games with 38 gold, 27 silver, 36 bronze, 101 medals.
गौरवशाली क्षण भारत के लिए और उसके खिलाड़ियों के लिए.
India doing fantastically well in shooting, in boxing, in badminton. We've got medals in tennis, the team event there. Athletics for the first time after so many years. We picked up medals in athletics. So definitely India has grown from the Commonwealth Games. There's been a lot of inputs. The players have put in a very, very hard work over the years, and there have been results to see.
तो वर्षों की आगाध तपस्या और कठिन परिश्रम के बाद खिलाड़ियों ने भारत को सर्वोत्तम प्रदर्शन दिया.
And it's not only in athletics but also in table tennis, where we have Sant Kumar coming in, and we got those medals there, the gold medals. So really, it was in all disciplines that India was able to do well. In fact, even we got a gold medal in gymnastics.
2010, who have been trained by the Amity University. We thank them for their commitment and all their hard work. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
और अब जोशीला स्वागत करें दिल्ली यूनाइटेड स्वयं सेवियों का.
These are the athletes who have put in all the hard work of the last 4 to 5 years to train, and yes, there have been results to show 101 medals for India.
तो आप देख सकते हैं, मानो खिलाड़ियों को जीवन की हंसी मिल गई है. ये क्षण उन्हें हमेशा याद रहेंगे. ये मनोरम यादें उन्हें वर्षों के उपरांत भी याद दिलाती रहेंगी.
That's Samresh Jung there with the camera, and India's elite athletes with disabilities.
Canada.
That's the Malaysians who've come in here and done so very well also in their disciplines, especially in badminton. They've done well in table tennis. Here again, the athletes from India. Just remember, they don't come in as a contingent, they come in at different points in time. It's basically intermingling of the sports persons across the Commonwealth of Nations. So while all the athletes are in, and this just showcases, you just don't have to be the different nationalities not only represented here, but within a nation you have people from different regions who have settled in countries and across continents to make the adopted countries their home. So that's something really, to speak well in this day and age when people move from one nation to another, not only for sports but also for trade, commerce and business, besides of course tourism.
राष्ट्रमंडलीय खेलों में कई रिकॉर्ड बने तो कई पुराने टूटे, लेकिन कहा जाता है कि क्लोजिंग सेरेमनी अपने आप में एक ऐसा क्षण लाती है जिसमें खिलाड़ी सब कुछ भूल के उल्लास और उमंग में रत हो जाता है.
Well, yes, they've enjoyed every moment since the 3rd of October that they've been here in New Delhi. Delhi has been able to showcase to the world, provide the very best in hospitality, the very best in facilities, and which are going to really stand good for India, for the sports persons to train at the facilities that have been created. We would remember the golden moments of the Commonwealth Games.
जवाहरलाल नेहरू का विहंगम दृश्य आज इस स्टेडियम में करीबन 60,000 के ऊपर दर्शक विराजमान हैं. खचाखच भरा हुआ है स्टेडियम. बलजीत सिंह मलेशिया के राइट हाफ हॉकी में
So not only have the athletes joined in the party, it's also the volunteers who have joined in to enjoy, savor every moment of this closing ceremony. They're going to take back some fantastic memories which they're going to cherish for a very, very long time to come.
सही, क्योंकि आज कांस्य पदक जीतने के बाद न्यूजीलैंड ने हाका नृत्य किया जो अपने आप में एक प्रदर्शन था.
You can see the moving cameras, as we mentioned to you, as Doordarshan brings you these live and exclusive coverages. More than 400 cameras, the helicam, different camera positions. Mr. Rahul Gandhi there in the center, who's not only come up here for the opening of the closing ceremony, but he's been at the different stadium to encourage players. Great support of the games and great support of the youth of India to develop India not only into a sporting country, but to develop India to the utmost in the years to come. Once the athletes parade concludes, there'll also be the welcome of the dignitaries to the ceremonial stage. And also just to relive very quickly golden moments that have transpired over the last few days at these 19 Commonwealth Games. And just remember, after that there's going to be a fantastic music presentation, a cultural extravaganza and a fantastic laser show is expected. Just remain tuned and right through with us.
और धीमी गति के साथ सारे खिलाड़ीगण अपने निर्धारित स्थान की तरफ बढ़ते हुए
Most of the athletes have taken up their positions now around the field of play on either side of our commentator's position. As part of the formal presentation, there will also be a presentation by Scotland, who are going to be hosting the 2014 Commonwealth Games, the 20th Commonwealth Games. Just remember, in 2006, India had a presentation in Melbourne as India welcomed all the nations of the Commonwealth to New Delhi for 2010. And today it's the turn for New Delhi to hand over the flag to Glasgow, where the next Commonwealth Games are going to be held. And this will be an occasion for Glasgow to showcase what the Commonwealth of Nations can expect 4 years from now in 2014. The flags of the Commonwealth nations come towards the podium, where you have the Commonwealth Games Federation flag flying high, which is on the right-hand side of the stadium.
Here are some of the most unforgettable moments of the Commonwealth Games Delhi 2010.
ये वो यादगार पल थे
Shera,
इस 19वें राष्ट्रमंडल खेलों के।
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the very popular and talented singer Shan with our favorite mascot Shera.
और अब समय है हमारे प्यारे दोस्त और खेलों के शुभंकर
19वें राष्ट्रमंडल खेलों का शुभंकर शेरा।
कृपया स्वागत कीजिए जाने माने प्रतिभाशाली गायक शान और हमारे प्यारे शुभंकर शेरा का। अलविदा शेरा।
तूने जीना सिखाया हम मिलके, तूने चलना सिखाया मिलजुल के, तूने हार जीत से आगे बढ़कर मुस्काने का राज सिखाया गहरा। तू दिल है हमारा, दिल की धड़कन, तू ही है मेरी इंडिया का चेहरा। ओ शेरा बाबा, ओ शेरा गुड बाय। आशा के नए हमें नगमे दिए, तूने अमन और प्यार की भाषा में दो लफ्ज हमें अपने से दिए। खाते हैं कसम अब दिल से हम, धो देंगे सभी दुनिया की खुशियाँ खुशियाँ ही बांटेंगे, फैला के अमन ही बांधेंगे। सर पर जीत का सहरा बाबा, ओ शेरा
और इस भावभीनी विदाई के वक्त शेरा के चेहरे पर मुस्कुराहट है। इसमें कोई शक नहीं कि शेरा बहुत याद आएगा। और अब आयोजन समिति के अध्यक्ष श्री सुरेश कलमाडी अपना संबोधन प्रस्तुत करेंगे।
Mr. Hamid Ansari, Honorable Vice President of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, Honorable Prime Minister and Mrs. Singh, Your Royal Highness, Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, and Vice Patron, Commonwealth Games Federation, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, Chairperson, National Advisory Council, Mr. Mike Fennell, President, Commonwealth Games Federation, all members of the Games family and Mrs. Fennell, Sri Mahinda Rajapaksha, Honorable President of Sri Lanka, all the members of the Indian Olympic Association, senior management of the organizing committee, all stakeholders, athletes and officials from participating teams, members of the media from India and abroad, my dear volunteers and workforce of the organizing committee. And finally, the proud people of Delhi. Namaskar. The sporting extravaganza is ending, but I'm sure the aftertaste will linger for a long time. Delhi 2010, which captured the imagination of India and the world for almost 2 weeks, is drawing to a close. But this is not the end. In fact, it is just the beginning. For the athletes, it's been a life-changing experience. For India, it has been a new beginning in sports. For the world, it has been evidence of what India can do at the sporting stage. This is a new era for Indian sports and our athletes and sports-loving people who embrace the games as their own. All this has made what is turned out to be the largest, the most watched, and one of the most enjoyable games ever. The Indian contingent finished second by not only winning more gold than any other Commonwealth Games, but also doubling the medal tally from the last time and finishing with 101 medals. By winning medals in 12 disciplines, India has made a statement to the world that our sports is on the march. This would not have been possible without the foresight of the Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, in granting rupees 700 crores for training of Indian athletes. The entire Indian sports fraternity is grateful to him. As President of the Indian Olympic Association, it gives me great joy and pride that our athletes have done extremely well before a delightful home crowd. We have many new heroes and new young icons. There was a great show of national pride each time the Indian flag went up and the national anthem was played at the victory ceremony. And when 3 Indian flags were hoisted, after the women swept the gold, silver and bronze medals in the discus throw. We created the ultimate Chak De India movement. I thank Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and the young leader, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, for setting examples by taking seats in the spectator gallery rather than in the VIP area, as they boosted the morale of the athletes. The fact, yet there has been a month ago, questions were being asked if the games would be held at all. We drew inspiration from our beloved Pandit Nehru, who said that, quote, "Success does not come suddenly or without setbacks. Have that inner urge to do big things and you will do them," unquote. With the blessings of the Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, Mr. Jaipal Reddy, who was head of the group of ministers, assisted by the Cabinet Secretary, we remain committed to our task with immense faith and unshakable self-belief. We knew that it was about India's ability to stand up and show the world that we are capable of and what we can achieve despite being faced with adversities. And we did just that. We were rewarded when athletes from all the 71 nations and territories turned up for the biggest celebration of sports in India. All of them came as friends and will now return as family. Many won repeat medals and new champions were born. Over 75 Commonwealth Games records were broken in Delhi. This was proof of the high quality and intensity of competition and the world-class infrastructure that our Sports Minister Dr. M.S. Gill and his team led by Secretary Sindhushri Khullar created for the athletes. I would like to thank Mr. P. Chidambaram, Minister of Home Affairs, Mr. Tejinder Khanna, Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Mr. G.K. Pillai, Home Secretary, Delhi Police Commissioner Y.S. Dedwal, and their team in ensuring a safe and secure environment for the athletes and spectators. maintaining the sports protocol. Many athletes have told me that the Games Village is the best they have seen so far. I thank the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi for giving the athletes a fabulous village. We would like to thank all media, especially our host broadcasters, Prasar Bharati, his production partner SAS, and a rights-holding broadcaster from around the world. Thank you, Mrs. Ambika Soni, Mr. B.S. Lali, and Mrs. Aruna Sharma. I am immensely proud of the organizing committee's 4,000-strong workforce, including the senior management, for its collective ability to keep the chin up under the most trying circumstances. It is admirable indeed that we stuck together in this amazing journey in the face of series of roadblocks that surface frequently. We have learned a lot and we continue to learn. You will agree that it was important for India, the biggest of the nations in the Commonwealth. The impact of Delhi 2010 is already being felt and the city has advanced by 10 years. I thank all the political parties for their support to the Games. There is no doubt that the Games bound India together and the country is feeling proud. I would like to thank Mrs. Sheila Dikshit, Chief Minister of Delhi, members of her cabinet for making Delhi a world-class city. A special thanks to Mr. Kanwar Sen, Honorable Mayor of Delhi, and the MCD for their relentless effort to make Delhi ready for the Games. I would like to thank the Finance Minister, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, without whose support this big show could not have been hosted. Mr. Chandrasekhar, the Cabinet Secretary, spent a lot of time with us, and Mr. T.K. Nair of the Prime Minister's office was always with us in case of emergencies. Our lead partner, the Indian Railways, our partners and sponsors all deserve special gratitude. Praful Patel, I know you're here today. All the Air India flights were on time, so the Games could begin on time. The Tourism Minister, Shelja, you did a great job. The Defence Forces have a big part in every aspect of the Games. Delhi 2010 and India salutes you. I would also like to praise the thousands of construction workers from all over the country who did a great job. A number of agencies we thank include the NDMC, DDA, CPWD, PWD, Delhi Transport Corporation, Delhi Jal Board, Delhi Fire Services for their commitment and relentless effort to make it happen. I just place on record the continuous guidance and involvement of the Commonwealth Games Federation, especially its President, Mr. Michael Fennell, and the Coordination Commission, the Indian Olympic Association and the Executive Board. Thank you for the faith and support. I must make a very special mention of my colleagues in the organizing committee, and particularly Dr. Lalit Banot, the Secretary General who worked hard day and night to meet the technical conduct of the Games. To Delhi United, the army of 20,000 volunteers, you did a fabulous job, including the volunteers of the Sahara India Parivar. Thank you, Viscraft, for a great opening and closing ceremony. We wish Glasgow all the best for the Commonwealth Games 2014. Over the past few days, all of us have been working, and I congratulate all you people, the citizens of Delhi, for a great job done. Thank you, Delhi. Thank you, India. Jai Hind.
Thanksgiving, but of course almost a thankless job as well, because you might thank so many, and even if you missed just a few, they might be a little upset, but had to be done. So many agencies coming together for managing these games is a mammoth task, and now of course the very important task of the handover of the flag.
Khanna.
The moment when Delhi hands over to Glasgow.
Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi.
और एक एक करके गण्यमान्य व्यक्ति मंच की ओर बढ़ते हुए
The Lord Provost of Glasgow.
श्री माइकल
Councillor
फेनिल,
Mr. Robert Winter.
राष्ट्रमंडल खेल संघ के अध्यक्ष श्री तेजेंद्र खन्ना, दिल्ली के उपराज्यपाल,
The Right Honourable, the Lord Smith of Kelvin, Chairman of Glasgow 2014 Commonwealth Games Organising Committee.
श्री रॉबर्ट विंटर, द लॉर्ड प्रोवोस्ट ऑफ ग्लासगो एंड लॉर्ड स्मिथ ऑफ केल्विन, चेयरमैन हैं, अध्यक्ष हैं ग्लासगो 2014 कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स के। दिल्ली की मुख्यमंत्री श्रीमती शीला दीक्षित। और अब ग्लासगो को अगले राष्ट्रमंडल खेलों के लिए ध्वज का हस्तांतरण किया जाएगा।
We're now getting ready for the flag handover.
The Commonwealth Games Federation's ceremonial flag will be entrusted to your care so that in due time you deliver it to Glasgow, the host city of the 20th Commonwealth Games to be held in 2014.
It's going to be Robert Winter, the Lord Provost of Glasgow, will reply to this statement by Mr. Sheila Dikshit.
This duty I willingly undertake to fulfill.
May I now invite Mr. Suresh Kalmadi, Mr. Tejinder
Has
Khanna,
promised
Councillor
to do his
Mr.
duty
Robert Winter
and to undertake
Lord
the
Smith
2014
to come
Games.
forward for the flag handover
This is the
ceremony.
formal part of the closing ceremony of the 19th Commonwealth Games. Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Mr. Tejinder Khanna is there. The bugles to be sounded. Commonwealth Games Federation flag has been lowered and it will now be handed over to Glasgow. Just remember, the core element of that flag is the bar, which represents the game's effort to raise the bar of sport for all humanity and a level playing field where athletes compete in a spirit of friendship and fair play. Flag is handed over to Mr. Suresh Kalmadi, who is the chairman of the organizing committee of the Commonwealth Games Delhi 2010. And then hands it over to Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Mr. Tejinder Khanna. This ceremony is taking place on the right side of the stadium. marks the shifting on focus from Delhi 2010 to Glasgow 2014.
And now, the flag will be handed over to Mr. Suresh Kalmadi, Member of Parliament and Chairman Organising Committee, Commonwealth Games Delhi 2010. Mr. Suresh Kalmadi will hand the flag over to His Excellency, the Honourable Lieutenant Governor of the National Capital of Delhi, Shri Tejinder Khanna.
Well, a successful hosting of the Commonwealth Games, and Mr. Tejinder Khanna, Lieutenant Governor of Delhi,
And
who will
now,
then hand it over
the
to
flag
Robert
is being
Winter,
handed
the
over
Lord Provost
to
of
Lord
Glasgow.
Provost of Glasgow, Councillor Mr. Robert Winter.
Before I hand over the CGF flag to the next hosts, in my capacity as Administrator of the National Capital Territory of Delhi, I offer our entire NCT teams warm greetings and felicitations to all heads of state, our Honorable Vice President, our Honorable Prime Minister, His Royal Highness Prince Edward, Vice Patron of the Commonwealth Games Federation, other national and international dignitaries, office bearers of the Commonwealth Games Federation and Organizing Committee, members of the Diplomatic Corps, sports personalities, officials, volunteers, school children, and cultural artists, representatives of the media, other valued participants, and all fellow citizens. India has all along maintained a tradition of openness of mind and heart and respect for all religious traditions, ways of life, and cultural expressions. It has regarded diversity as a source of enrichment rather than something to be feared. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, implying that the world is one family, and Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, or Sarbatta Bhala, meaning that we seek the well-being of all, have constituted the core of India's world vision over past millennia. My sense is that notwithstanding some initial misgivings regarding our preparedness for the Games, the athletes and officials actually found the competition in venues as well as residential and training facilities to be of a very high standard and comparable with the best. Full support was throughout extended for the successful hosting of the Games by the Honorable Prime Minister. Various executing agencies worked diligently under the supervision of respective agency heads, as well as sustained guidance of the group of ministers and close coordination and oversight by the Cabinet Secretary. The hard work of thousands of laborers, supervisory engineering and administrative staff deserve special recognition. Meticulous planning and execution of security arrangements for the Games have been implemented by a dedicated team of Delhi police personnel with backup and support from central security agencies. The devotion to duty demonstrated by security personnel merit unstinted appreciation. I would like to sincerely thank all my fellow citizens for their excellent cooperation with the security personnel, leading to smooth implementation of various security measures despite the inconvenience caused to them. India will always remain a country with a warm feeling towards all fellow beings from whichever country they may hail. Delhi is a global city with a rich and colorful past and present, reflecting India's unity in diversity. I certainly hope that all the participants and visitors who came for these Games will take back feelings of warmth and friendship, which will persuade them to revisit our country in the future as well. I wish the hosts of Commonwealth Games 2014 to be staged at Glasgow, Scotland, all success in promoting the Commonwealth spirit of mutual respect, cooperation and fellowship. And now, with your permission, I proceed to hand over the CGF flag to the distinguished representative of the next host city. Jai Hind.
As he thanks everyone and handover of the flag, Robert Winter, as he hands it over to the Right Honourable, the Lord Smith of Kelvin.
Chairman of Glasgow 2014.
He is the chairman of
Committee.
Glasgow 2014. Lord Smith of Kelvin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Lord Provost of Glasgow, Councillor Mr. Robert Winter, who will now address the audience.
We now have Lord Provost of Glasgow.
Thank you, Mrs. Dixit, Mr. Comadi, Mr. Fennell, Mr. Gill, Lieutenant Governor Khanna, distinguished guests. Delhi has this evening given us a spectacular closing ceremony, matched only by the magnificence of the opening ceremony. More important still, for the past 12 days, Delhi has staged a truly great 19th Commonwealth Games. Above all, we have seen how the friendship of the Commonwealth unites its member countries, and how the Games provide a wonderful sporting celebration of that unity. In their different ways, there are few cities which demonstrate the diversity and inclusiveness of the Commonwealth better than Delhi and Glasgow. It is therefore entirely fitting that the flag and the responsibility of host city should now be passed between us. In receiving the flag, which I did with great pride, I offer my thanks to Delhi for being such generous hosts. I offer thanks to Sheila Dixit as Chief Minister of Delhi for all you have done to safeguard the values and qualities of the Commonwealth Games over the past 4 years. I give thanks to Mr. Komadi and his Games Organising Committee for all their hard work, and to Mike Fennell as President of the Commonwealth Games Federation for the Federation's granting Glasgow the great honour of hosting the 20th Games in 2014. In Glasgow, we do not underestimate that honour or the responsibility it entails. Glasgow's looking forward with great anticipation to 2014, when we will celebrate the great sporting occasion which is the Commonwealth Games, and receive as honoured guests the great family which is the Commonwealth. I am joined here this evening by Lord Smith of Kelvin, who is Chair of the Glasgow 2014 Organising Committee and leader of a superb partnership between Glasgow City Council, the Scottish Government and Commonwealth Games Scotland. We aspire to host an outstanding, athlete-centred and sport-focused Games delivered by the people of Scotland. Finally, thank you, Delhi, for your welcome and for staging a wonderful Games. Now, please allow me also to offer a warm invitation from the City of Glasgow to the nations, athletes and people of the Commonwealth to come and join us in 2014. Thank you.
A call to welcoming all the nations of the Commonwealth Games to Glasgow in 2014. Well, that is the Armadillo, which is an auditorium just off the River Clyde. And as the Scottish come out representing the flow of the water of River Clyde there. That was the Highland Fling, one of the oldest of the traditional Highland dances of Scotland, which is performed normally in front of that auditorium just off the River Clyde in Scotland. And now we'll have the Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness Monster, also known as Nessie, is reputed to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. Well, the scientific community regards the Loch Ness Monster as a modern-day myth.